My name's Barry Took.
Sheer genius.
I'm here to tell you that Points of View will be returning to BBC One at 8:50 on Friday, September the 5th.
There's nothing but rubbish on the BBC.
If you want to add your voice, whether in praise or complaint, write to Points of View, BBC Television Centre, London W12 8QT.
Your programmes stink.
Thank you.
On BBC Two shortly, part 2 of the new film series on the life and works of the French playwright Molière. Here on 1 in 25 minutes, Tom Bell and Lynn Thurley star in Sweet Nothings, a love story. Now the 9 o'clock news with Peter Woods.
The Polish government acts as the strikes continue. A government minister is replaced and more dissidents.
The management's plans for slimming down. The South African foreign minister flies to London to give his country's views on the future of Zimbabwe Rhodesia. And from Rhodesia weave a special report on the white farmers and their contribution to the country's economy. President Zia has postponed Pakistan's elections and dissolved all political parties. Tidal waves strike the French Riviera and at least 9 are drowned. And another ambition fulfilled by Britain's most adventurous centenarian. Good evening. There's been a major development tonight over British Leyland's plans for the company's future. Leaders of the BL trade unions meeting in London have accepted proposals to close down 13 plants and cut the workforce by 25,000. They now plan to ballot their members and they'll be recommending acceptance of the proposals. Here's our industrial correspondent, Ian Ross.
The decision came a short time ago at a meeting of the executive of the Confederation of Shipbuilding and Engineering Unions, on which the union leaders at BL all sit. And their decision is that they will ballot their own members, or alternatively join the company in a joint ballot. And on the ballot paper will be 2 questions. One is setting out the opposition to the Edwards plan, opposition which was underlined overwhelmingly by a meeting of shop stewards at Birmingham last weekend. The other, setting out the joint statement union leaders agreed with the company at a meeting earlier this month, and coupled with the union's recommendation that the workforce should go along with the streamlining plans, that is, closing or partly closing a dozen plants and shedding upwards of 25,000 jobs. Well, tonight's decision follows a warning earlier today from the chairman of the National Enterprise Board, Sir Leslie Murphy, that BL was closer to the precipice than ever, and he was in no doubt that the company's plans had to go through.
There is no doubt at all that it has too many plants, too high fixed overheads, employs too many people, productivity is too low, and that has to be dealt with. It's for the management of BL to decide, and the board of BL to decide what to do. They haven't yet come to me with their plan, though I have a fair idea of what is in it. But if they cannot get the cooperation of the workforce in carrying that through, then I think the future is very bleak.
What has concentrated union leaders' minds at this evening's meeting was quite clearly the knowledge that tomorrow afternoon Sir Michael Edwards would be advising the BL board to ballot the workforce on his proposals in the belief that a majority of BL workers would go against their shop steward's line. He said that without the full support of the workforce, he wouldn't go to the NEB and the government for additional cash, and without that additional cash, BL's future would be in jeopardy. Tonight, effectively, the unions have joined management in accepting that there is no alternative to the streamlining plans.
The government intend to sell off 5% of their stake in British Petroleum. This will mean that the government will lose their majority holding in the company. Other assets, including some belonging to the National Enterprise Board, will also be disposed of. The aim is to cut the gap between what the government raises on taxes and what it spends. But the BP sale, which will raise only £200 or £300 million, is smaller than expected. Most will be raised from advanced selling of British National Oil Corporation's oil under the sea. The rest will come from the sale of some National Enterprise Board assets, and the new towns will also contribute. The total could be £1,100 million. The latest trade figures suggest that last month Britain became a net exporter of oil for the first time, selling abroad £9 million worth more than we bought. But overall, Britain's trade was again in red by
play it again.
Christopher Plummer, it won 5 Oscars and became one of the most popular films ever made. The Sound of Music.